In this video I will show some ideas of what you can do interesting and fun without any mods. Want to create a parody of your own dimension, or maybe want to try to make a non-standard block? And how about a new minigame where you have to build your own and destroy enemy spaceships? All this and more is available with the premium subscription. Your space is limited. What else I'll tell you? First, I suggest dealing with the fan illusion that you can use to your advantage. Right here I have like a passage to another dimension. I can even jump in and see something unusual. If I look up, there is an exit back to the normal world. However, in doing so, it'll look a little different to your friends, as if you've fallen into an unknown infinite hole. Just don't give me any jokes. Let me show you how to get one of these things. Actually, there is nothing complicated, you can do it even in survival. To start, I found some large space that I don't regret and choose one of the blocks whose color I need. Now just need to take a map and activate it. As you can see, I'm roughly in the middle. That's what I need. I go up and start building. The main thing is to build enough so that all space is in the selected block. This is roughly what you should get. You may have a different color, but it doesn't change the point. I take a glowstone, stick frames on it and put an obtained image in them. The result is a perfect illusion. You can, for example, in some lodge put such a thing outside a window or build a magical passageway to the bright future. Imagine you're walking through an infinite dimension and then BAM! My face. Scary, isn't it? Here is another use for it. In general, we smoothly got to the first idea of what you can do in Minecraft, namely we are talking about building new biomes or even worlds. My favorite option is a mirror dimension, where everything at the top is the same at the bottom, including even mobs. One variant would be some kind of symmetrical map such as this one, where a player has to go through a maze with obstacles. And inside, both on the floor and on the ceiling, skeletons calmly walk around. You can see that they aren't at all afraid to shoot at the player from any side. Any entity, not necessarily a specific shooting one, can be flipped in a similar way. It is enough to do only two things. First, you need to give the map a certain name, and second, give it a levitation effect by some method. Just be careful not to overdo the level, or else your test subjects will turn into new space satellites. If you play around with all this a bit more, you won't be too far away from creating a fully symmetrical map in all 6 directions. Here in each room there is an option to move to any of 6 neighboring similar rooms, some of which have traps. Well, or you could just try to build up some existing biome from above and then populate it with inverted creatures. However, still the mirror world won't be to everyone's liking, but nobody forbids you to realize what you want personally. Have you always dreamed of a biome that's basically a huge vegetable garden? Good, all that's left is to choose a suitable location. I plow land, add water sources, and so, after a while, a new landscape emerges. You wanna create new structures? Well, not like that, of course, there are plenty of them. Try as an example to build a village for a different biome. Or let's say recreate versions of a desert temple, just not for the desert. There is a lot of options. And if you combine all this stuff with the previously discussed illusion, you can easily create your own complete worlds. For example, here is a mini parody of Enderworld, where the background and block colors have been replaced with different shades of yellow. When expanded, it turns out to be quite playable, especially if you add new structures here. By the way, have you ever tried to complete a raid attack on a village with high difficulty turned on? If so, you probably know that without a proper preparation, it's not easy to do. So what I'm suggesting is to try to defend a village against pillagers without any direct player interaction, in the sense that I will not be allowed to anyway directly shoot, hit or distract enemies. Then how to win? Just use the brain. Just use mechanisms, traps, structures and mobs. For example, I'll be able to trigger a machine during a siege that will make dispensers shoot fireballs, but not more than once for all waves. Or I can use traps. Here's an example of how the simplest blocking works using pistons. If I don't know what horror would happen later on, I probably would have given up on this idea. Actually, to begin with, I decided to think out a plan. The chosen village is partly protected by water, but not everywhere. So I thought I would build a barrier around the perimeter of the village and keep 3 main passages. The walls will not be small, 3 blocks width, because I will possibly put some things in here later. Yeah, I hope the raid won't spawn right on the walls, or it'll be kind of embarrassing. I'm thinking of building 2 small towers at the main entrance. I'll probably do something interesting in them later. I chose a round shape for them, and they'll be a little bigger from above than from below. Why? Because that's a trend. I'll replace some of the stone bricks blocks with something else to make things look a bit more natural. By the way, I added wooden fence at the back where water is, just in case case, pillagers are smart enough to bypass the village. At the upper passage, I will build a moat with lava, through which it is possible to go by trapdoors. I believe that not all enemies will be able to handle this task. On either side, I place small rooms for snow golems, which should in theory be used to throw pillagers down. The only ones who can defeat this trap are the ravagers, for snowballs are just a little bit weak in pushing them away. On the underside, I will make a trivial water trap using magma blocks down to the last row. Anyone who tries to pass through this place is sure to be brought down. By the way, the size should be enough to hold all enemies in there. At the main passage, however, I will add 2 obstacles one by one at once. First, enemies need to pass a conversation simulation with the Inquisition, which nearly always results in a slight increase in temperature. That is, in order to get in, all enemies will have to walk a winding path between lava, being constantly under fire from the warriors of light. In the second stage, there will be some water to wade through along the way, activating dispensers with arrows. I know that all of these may not be enough, so in that case a one-time dynamite detonation mechanism will be activated. I also decided to add dispensers with fireballs at each passageway in the village. In the event of a breakthrough, I'll be able to activate them and cause a certain amount of damage at once. I'm gonna add a few dispensers to each tower from the bottom on different sides. The upper one should pour out lava when signaled, and the lower one will throw a potion of strong slowness. So in theory, this should be a great combination for destroying a large number of targets. Also, I'll put little weapons in the walls that allow me by water to bring dynamite down when I get a good chance. If there are a bunch of enemies near an edge, they will get a bombastic gift altogether, and a few other small traps inside and outside the village that are supposed to help eliminate attacks. Pillagers will step on plates and stay down forever, at least that's how I'd wish it. On the final touch, I will create a trio of warriors, namely iron golems. Using a lead, I will keep them in my influence range, and at the right moment I will call them and they will immediately come to help. It remains to make them hands and give something to peck at. Forgot to say, I had previously changed the trap in the upper passage. I removed the lava and added with the roses at the bottom, since lava is unable to defeat witches. I think it's all set. Now it's time to turn on the highest difficulty, cast the right effect on myself, and let's go. Swarm like flies. Man, why are you ripping a bell? Leave it alone, it won't run away from you. Yeah, the first wave arrived just outside the main entryway, so well, that's a good thing. Let's see what happens. 4 of the 6 brigands fell into traps and magically disappeared. Thank them for that. The first of the remaining was the bravest and ran forward with courage, but something did not work out for him in this life. The last one must have always dreamed of becoming a sapper, otherwise I don't know how to explain his success in clearing traps. Oh, he's running! Changed his mind for some reason. It's okay, just a little scared. Overcame fear. Go, 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 go. Yeah. Well, you know, at least you tried, yeah. The second wave also goes in the middle, but there's no longer a part of traps. Ah, they're stuck. Haven't brains at all. I'll have to pull them out and build up this hose. Alright, the first one's ready. Look, he got a chance. No, he doesn't have a chance. A crossbowman generally accepted his fate. It doesn't even try to shoot. Whoa, 2 at once. See, you know, singly there are little tweaks and it's easy to break them, but together, okay, forget it. And the third wave is right there, only this time they brought heavy weaponry in the form of a ravager. He's running around down there, I'm gonna fry him more. Well, that's me, professional in action, yeah. Ah, they're so smart that they run into lava. I got you, alright. He's coming. Okay, jump around, exercises on the schedule, I agree. Perfect, let's go. He doesn't care about anything, he just takes no golems and kills them. It's not fair. Let's relieve the first hand pact while there's still some snowman left. Oh, it's late, but I need him here anyway. What are you doing? The bigger your nose, the smaller your brain? Fight, wimp, what did I create you for? That just now was your typical teammate in any competitive game, just a genius. Thankfully, later came a golem of villagers. He's not so stupid and first defeated a witch and then finished off a ravager. The first attack appeared again at main gates, but for some reason they ran another way, which I successfully took advantage of. Eventually, they all together decided to sniff with the roses and for some reason they suffocated. Witches are so funny getting damage, just take it as a beat and write a track, I don't know. The fifth wave started from below. A villager was doing something there and he became the first victim of this cruel world. But luckily, the villagers are not particularly smart. Clearly they enjoyed water heated by magma. Then the Iron Genius also came into a bathhouse and lightly massaged their backs. Why genius? Because he died there too in the end.
Oh, there is bubbles in water. Nice. Am I taking damage? Whatever, but the bubbles are great.
The penultimate wave has spawned in the center. In fact, there are already a lot of opponents here and it's hard to defeat them all. I was lucky to defeat a lot of them using the tower mechanism, though it's more their credit than mine. The rest passed inside the village, where there was no one to resist them. I had to activate another iron overmind, but this one turned out to be even smarter than previous ones and went to Otherworld as the most useless piece of metal on the planet. Apparently pillagers looked at this picture, got offended that someone took the title of dumbest mob from them and reclaimed it back. As a result, while I was trying to withdraw a witch from AFK, the second to last nosy one somehow managed to prove his desire to leave. I have looked at the replay. Probably all girls in the village were running away from him and he got a little depressed. Bro, I understand you. The last witch was just walking around the village, apparently looking for love. Eventually I couldn't stand it and brought her a white prince without a horse. And there went the last wave with a million everyone, as well as 2 ravagers with riders. The white prince thought he needed at least some sort of riding animal and started hitting a rider first. Finally he defeated the rider, but not the animal for some reason, though I don't know why he needs a horse if he isn't far from animal's mind. Stunned by this picture, I activated the detonation mechanism, but it didn't get me much results. Already there was nothing left but to just shoot fireballs, unsuccessfully of course. In the end enemies took over the village and won, so why not? I just built all this stuff for hours without a reason. I don't know how it happened, but we all realized it wasn't my fault, it was just Moon being in the wrong phase. Okay, I need to find something other. For example, I once invented my own minigame with custom rules. The main point is to first build and then fight using spaceships in Minecraft. Before beginning, each player chooses his favorite color and builds his ship, necessarily of wool. I've prepared in advance. Here's a masterpiece recreation of 2 size fighters from one movie. You can try to guess which one. I add a prearranged number of stone blocks to each ship. Here I'm going to have 4 of them on each side. Now I'm using a special command and replace the stone blocks with dispensers with fireballs. I connect all turrets to a launch button and that's it. The game is ready to start. Now each player must take turns shooting their cannons at the other ship. The game ends when one of these ships has a button wall block burned, meaning it is unable to shoot. But that's also children's toys. The real men are playing by men's rules. First, each of the players must have the same number of wall blocks in front of their ship that can be hit. Second, a button that activates guns can be placed on all blocks except a dispenser. That said, you can't put it right behind the cannon, because a cannon will then protect it. I mean, in either option, there should be a possibility to break over a stone signal going to dispensers. Third, defense blocks that cannot burn are brought into the game. You can use only a predetermined amount of them also, but not so much of course. After each of your shots, you can choose one of these blocks from your opponent and just break it. Thus, even the perfect protection of any ship will be destroyed over time. Lastly, you can have as many buttons as you like. The main thing is that one dispenser should not be connected to 2 sources at the same time. But I will be able to shoot in one turn using only one button, and that is how a balance is created. The more buttons you have, the harder it is to defeat your ship, because you need to destroy a few blocks at once. But at the same time, by increasing the durability of your building, you reduce its attack power. Which to choose, it's up to you. It's time to show an example of this game. Of course, it's better to play together with a friend, but I'll be alone because I don't have any friends. Let's say there will be 3 cannons on each side, 15 forward wall blocks and 10 shields. On the blue side, 3 little fighters will engage in battle at once, as the rules don't forbid splitting up your ship. Each of them has 1 cannon and respectively 1 button. Their small shields will be placed in front of cockpits from which the signal of attack is given. A green ship has its main main turrets here and one backup cannon here, so there are 2 possible activations in total. I'll put the first one right between future dispensers, and the second one should transmit a signal through redstone dust. That said, right there in the signal path, it is using exactly blocks that can't burn out. Thus, the opponent would need to break the thing on his own in order to stop shooting from this position. Now I'll add shield blocks over the most vulnerable parts of the building, so the opponent will find it harder to defeat from the first shot. Spaceships are ready, and so am I. Now we need to decide who's gonna be the quick shooter, I mean who fires first. Actually, I don't really care, so let it be the blue fighters, but in that case they'll have a minor advantage. Therefore, the one who shoots first is obliged to give the second one a possibility to break one of his shields. Let's say I break this, though I'd gladly break anything, but okay, let's start the fight. The first fireball flew out, it seems it's going straight to the target. It hit a shield, but it's okay, I'll break it. At the same time, both of the green ship shots were obviously completely unsuccessful. Next, fighters fire twice. Oh, that's a good one, again in his shield. Okay, bad luck, it happens. By the way, why did blue shoot twice in a row? Well, because after each turn the number of button presses increases by 1. So one of the small ships is hit, I need to shoot from it before it burns out. Oh, look how well that flew, a little bit more and it would have hit for sure. For some reason, turrets of the green one kept trying to finish off that fighter. I guess it's gonna be its end soon, or right now. Okay, while there's a stuff from the central one left here, I need to use it for its intended purpose right away, because it's the most useful. And yes, it got some results. One shot hit the shield, but the other succeeded in reaching the ship. I'm getting the feeling that blue ones don't need to try to hit much anymore, the opponent will burn out. Okay, hurry up, we need to shoot while we still have a chance, probably our last. One of projectiles hit the right fighter, so now both sides are actively burning here, and it's unclear who will defeat who. Oh, the button ran away from the burning ship, clearly doesn't have much courage. And at the end I break this thing, since it was a blue player's turn. As a result, the green side is left without the possibility to shoot, which means the game is over and 3 fighters have won. Let's congratulate them wholeheartedly. Hold your medals, guys, and wear them with pride. Lastly, I want to show you a couple more possible upgrades for this game. Firstly, I recommend to use an additional second kind of shields that are activated by a lever. The point is to increase the ship's survivability of its most important parts by 1 turn, thereby preventing an opponent from hitting critical spots. And secondly, you could play with the rules of battle and an ability to rebuild some blocks right as you play. By the way, if you install mods, then using World Edit there is an ability to move completed buildings. All you have to do is look in the right direction, type the correct command and enter desired shift. Overall, I hope the minigame turned out to be interesting and you got a desire to play like this at least once. If it's true, then as a thanks put $1 million on my card, and if it's not, then don't. Anyway, see you in new videos, and remember, Selenium doesn't say farewell, Selenium says bye.